Hi everybody and welcome back to the Toon Review YouTube channel for the Daily News Show. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for tuning in. As usual, if you do enjoy today's show, please give it the thumbs up. Still very important to the channel that we keep those coming in. And of course, if you're new and you like what you see, please do subscribe and come and be part of this fantastic community. Free to do so, but make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload like this or a future live show, which are most nights every single week. But there's news on Newcastle United's transfer front this morning, as well as possible news on Callum Wilson, a Mike Ashley court case coming up in the future, and a little bit of criticism towards Eddie Howe for giving Bruno the captaincy. But we'll start off with a player who has been linked a lot with Newcastle United for the last probably round about 2 windows, I would say, is now Mitchell's priority signing in January, and it's Bryan Mbeumo of Brentford. Now, this will not be an easy deal to get through at all because Brentford do not want to sell the player. Of course, he's had a fantastic start to the Premier League season, banging in the goals, few assists as well. He's a very, very talented player. Now, for me, I think we should have gone for him in the summer. I think a lot of fans, he was a popular choice with a lot of fans. Certainly when we did a Premier League transfer show on him way back when, he was very, very popular with the viewers as well. So I don't understand why we didn't go for Mbeumo in the summer when it was crying out that we needed somebody to step into that winger's position and really, grasp it with both hands, and I'm sure Mbeumo would have done that. But now we're looking at January, where we know that prices are inflated. Deals are very difficult to get through. Brentford will not want to lose him, which is why a fee of around 50 million has been banded around. However, that may still rise, because if Brentford are refusing to sell him for probably what he's worth, they'll want a bit more in January to either try and find somebody else or make sure they've got a kitty there for the transfer window in the summer. So it's not going to be an easy deal to get through. They don't want to sell him. We are still linked, of course, with Anthony Elanga as well. He's a target, no doubt about it. But for me, Mbeumo would be an absolutely incredible signing. Somebody that we have been crying out for all season long so far in these early stages of the Premier League. We know that right-hand side is a critical position for us, really. It really is. When we've got Gordon on the other side, or Barnes, whoever it may be, I genuinely believe that if we can get somebody like Mbeumo, my God, what a strike force we'd have, because Mbeumo doesn't just assist, he scores goals. He's a goal scorer as well. He knows how to hit the back of the net, and we are crying out for somebody like that on the right-hand side, because quite plainly we've seen at the start of this season that, for all we love Jacob Murphy, he's not up to the level of some of the players that are around him on the pitch. We saw that in previous games where, the likes of Tonali's been making some fantastic runs, wants to play little 1-2s, but Murphy's just not on that same level where he can play ball through to Tonali or whoever it may be making that breakthrough. And Mbeumo, however, he certainly is. So it's a one to watch because we have been heavily linked with him in the past. But a lot of the reports this morning saying that he is Mitchell's priority signing. So we all thought that was going to be Guehi. Apparently was still interested in him, but the priority signing is Bryan Mbeumo. Now that will make a lot of people happy if it turns out to be true, because he's very popular with the fans. You ask any fan to say, let's go for Mbeumo, 9 out of 10 fans would say, yes, absolutely brilliant signing. So let's keep an eye on it. Dear. Callum Wilson. Now, listen, before I tell you this could be Eddie Howe playing mind games with everybody, because we know what he's like. If a player's going to return, he's very coy on it. He doesn't give much away. That is just the state of... that's Eddie Howe puts a status out that, that's it. The player is kept under lock and key. Now, Callum Wilson, however, Eddie Howe has claimed that Callum Wilson has been close to returning since the start of the season. It went to the Bournemouth game, international break, then the next international break, and he's still not back. Now, all the photos that have come out in training, which are, of course, taken by Serena, he's not in them. There's not one photo of Callum Wilson training with the main group. Now, you can take this 2 ways. Again, like I said, is this Eddie Howe playing little mind games with everybody that, Callum Wilson is going to return for the Chelsea game? or the fact that he's still not training with the group, which Eddie did state last week in his press conference, said that Callum is training, but he's not training with the main group. So take it as you will. Personally, I probably think that he's still not fit or ready to return. And if that's the case, it's getting to be a little bit of a joke now. I mean, not that it wasn't in the past, but this is crazy when he's linked with returns and then we still don't see him. Not a clue, as I say, if he was in training, but certainly all the pictures that they've released of training, which are taken by the official photographer, Serena, of course, Callum Wilson isn't in there anyway. So is Eddie Howe just told Serena, don't take any pictures of Callum. We don't want Chelsea to know that he's coming back, or is he still out injured? Let me know in the comments what you think, but I think I know what the majority of you are going to say. Now, another transfer. This is, if we pull this off, this is going to excite everybody at Newcastle United. Apparently, a couple of reports that I've read this morning state that Paul Mitchell is now plotting a move to sign Arda Guler from Real Madrid on a loan deal. It's stated that it would almost certainly be a loan deal because the money we'd have to pay for this guy would be extortionately through the friggin' roof. So forget about a permanent signing in my eyes, because that would just not happen, especially in January. No chance. Now, the reason for this is because Guler has found himself behind certain superstars at Real Madrid. I mean, you could just reel a list of names off, and Guler is somewhere in the middle. So he's only started 3 La Liga games this season, so he's finding a lack of football a little bit frustrating. Now, Carlo Ancelotti apparently is going to be very up for this move if you can get him on loan to a top league and a top team playing regular football until he can break into the Real Madrid on a permanent team on a permanent basis. This would be probably just a loan move till the end of the season. But can you imagine? Could you actually imagine what this kid could do for us? I mean, he absolutely lit up the Euros for Turkey. He's been featured on one of our transfer shows before, because before he made the move to Real Madrid, he was actually linked in the press with Newcastle United, as probably every player in the world is linked with Newcastle United, let's be honest. But this would really get bums off seats and excited. He would instantly become one of the best players in the team at Newcastle United. Absolutely no doubt about it. He's a winger. He would answer all the questions. And I know you're going to say, well, at the start of the show, you said Mbeumo. Why not get them both? If Guler is coming in on or Guler, however you want to say it, is coming in on a loan deal, then Mbeumo's coming in on a permanent deal. I mean, Guler can play various positions, as can Mbeumo, to be honest. It's just improving. It's making the squad bigger. Let's be honest. We don't just want one player, one top quality player for each position. So why not go and get them? If Guler's coming in on a loan deal for 6 months, that's no harm, is it? I mean, it would be fantastic to see a player like that play for Newcastle, even if it is just for a brief loan spell. But who's to say that we can't negotiate again with Real Madrid and say, right, I tell you what, if we take him on loan, we take him for the rest of this season and next. Because he's still a kid, he's still trying to break into the Real Madrid first 11, but we know that the players ahead of him are still going to be there next season. So if we can get a loan deal for a season and a half maybe, I don't know. We'll just have to see what Newcastle United come out with. But I tell you what, if that deal happens, incredible. But this is where it seems to be that, Mitchell has now turned his attentions to that right wing position or a forward position for the winter transfer window, and we are going all out to bring in a top class player. Now, in my mind, we will bring somebody in January. I think we have to, given how the summer went. Mitchell needs to prove his worth, absolutely, with bringing in a top quality player or 2 top quality players to shore the squad up. So, listen, even to be linked with players like this is exciting for me. But we have to see something happen. We have to see it, come to fruition in the January transfer window. But time will tell. But it's very exciting names. Now, Mike Ashley. I hate talking about this man, but it is unfortunately news linked to Newcastle United. Of course, we all know that Adidas made a deal with JD Sports regarding the replica kits. Mike Ashley took the huff about that, wasn't very happy, and decided to go to court about it. Now, it failed because he was told that there was nothing wrong with the deal and basically shut your mouth and get on with your own life. However, Mike Ashley didn't like that answer and has decided to press again. And a court case has been announced for February 2026. So miles away yet, but a date has been set where he is going to challenge Newcastle United, Adidas, and of course, JD Sports. He's taken them all to what he believes will be the cleaners, even though he's been advised by very, very high up lawyers that he probably won't win this case. Not that there's already been a decision, and he has to abide by that, but you know what Mike Ashley's like. If he doesn't come out on top, he will fight all the way. He's stubborn in that way. I guess that's why he's become such a successful businessman. Even though I hate his guts, you've got to say that. However, he is ruthless and he will try. But he's taken on three giants in Newcastle, Adidas, and JD Sports. So, dear, it should be a laugh come February 2026. Now, there has been a couple of reporters, and I'm not going to name these reporters because I feel like, it's not. I'm not criticising them or I'm not sort of calling them out for anything because I think they've come up with some very good points here about Eddie Howe naming Bruno as captain of Newcastle United. I've said many times on this channel that I don't think Bruno should be captain in Newcastle. I think there's other players there who are captain material on the pitch. I think Bruno is a very emotional player, don't get me wrong, and he's passionate about the club and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I would rather Bruno just have his own game to concentrate on rather than think about the armband and, trying to maybe get stuck into other players if things aren't going our way. Because so far this season when we haven't been playing very well, I don't really see Bruno going over and G'ing the team up or bollocking anybody or anything like that. He just gets on. We need a captain who is willing to stand up, be counted. Yes, we've got leaders on the pitch, absolutely. And a lot of people will turn around and say, well, everybody can be a captain. Absolutely. Leaders on the pitch. But to have the armband is just that extra step to say, right, I'm captain in Newcastle United. And if I don't think you're pulling your weight, I will tell you you're not pulling your weight. Or if they need an arm around and G'ing up, somebody to do that. We've got plenty of players who I think are more qualified for the armband. And I can't help but think that, Bruno got that captaincy because of the new, his contract situation and things like that to stay at the club. And I think a lot of people have agreed with me like that on the shows, to be honest. But I do tend to agree with them. I think there's other people who should have the armband. For me, Bruno is a top footballer, and we need to see the very best of Bruno. And I think we should just let him get on with his game rather than worrying about the captaincy. But it doesn't matter what we think, does it? Because Eddie Howe, as we know, has made him captain. He's not going to change that anyway. So it's a bit of a moot point, but it's worth discussing, I get, at the end of the day. But I tend to agree with the journalists on this one. But let me know what you think in the comments. Should Bruno be captain? Are you confident of him being captain of Newcastle United? Or do you think, like me, that there's other people in that starting 11 who are better suited to having the armband? But there you go. As usual, leave a comment below, like I've just said, for all the stories that we've gone through today. Thank you very much for watching. Please give the show a like. And of course, if you're new and you like what you've seen, as I said at the start, please do subscribe and come be part of this incredible community that we are rapidly growing here on the Toon Review. So thank you very much for that. Our next live show, if you're watching this on Thursday, is tonight, 7 o'clock. And that is the Chelsea preview, of course, for the game at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. We'll go through the possible lineups, the predictions, and putting a team together. Is Eddie going to change any tactics or anything like that for the game? Well, tune in at 7 and we'll have a talk about that. But thank you very much for watching. In the meantime, take care.